Hey, what is up, guys? Today we are here at BCCO Studios in Berlin, and today I want to show you how to make the most grooviest, hard, hypnotic techno ever. So anyway, I recently posted a TikTok of a track ID that I made. It's still in the abstract. I don't know when it will be released, but it got a lot of feedback and I did not expect it to gain almost like 500 likes. I want to break it down here for you because you guys might be interested in knowing how I've done it, and I do not feel like gatekeeping anything. This is just going to be a quick rundown. I won't go too much in depth because I feel like a lot of it comes down to like experimenting and stuff, and that takes a lot of time. So this is just a finished track, and I'm going to show you like the elements of it and my thoughts behind it. If you want more like in depth, I would advise just sitting down and watching these like 1 hour long videos where people just produce a track. It can actually like learn you quite a lot rather than like 5-10 minute videos. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Let's get to it. Right. It is really fast, kind of inspired by Yanamaste's sound, which that I really like. The main driving part is the bass line and the kick. Just 909 on the bottom with some overdrive, a top kick here. Actually, I started out with this 909, but I don't know. It sounded weird. I went with this instead. Then there's a sub bass with some distortion, bit crushing, or like redux. It's called redux. It basically is a bit crusher, right? A bit of reverb. Then I put the bass in mono. You should always do that. And then I'm EQing it. And then at last a glue compressor to just stick everything together. So the next thing is just this one from Ableton called Rhythmic Bass and Bell. It's just playing 2 notes through the whole thing. What makes it like sound really like crazy is that there's this like LFO playing with the redux, which is like a bit crusher in Ableton. And then the last element is literally just a tom sample, where I'm using like only like the real like low parts of it. For the group processing, I just use a drum boss. I like to do that a lot. It's like magic and it works most of the time. Just be careful with it because it's not like a fix for like a bad like a lot of music production is getting the kick and bass to sound good together. And well, drum boss can be really useful for that, but make sure that each layer has a purpose and each layer is mixed, because if else it can just become so much, right? Actually, I'm surprised I have not put a utility on here, so I will just Actually, I'm surprised there's no utility on here, so we're just going to do that. I'm on the bass and take it up a few hertz. The next part are these bells playing a kind of like dubby thing. What's it called? A resonator with the preset is called Berlin, and it literally just makes everything sound like a really dubby Berlin dubby. I don't know how to explain it. I just mess around with the EQing here a little bit. Maybe this is a bit too extreme, but I think it's all right because I'm compressing it later on. Whatever. Now for the more fun part, which is the drums. I have this drum rack here with some simple 909s from Splice that are just playing these really short notes, and it's used more as like percussion. And I really like doing this because it kind of like drives the listener and makes it like, oh, okay. There is a hi-hat, but it's not on the offbeat yet. Like, no, like it's coming. It's I don't know, as you say. Then I have this percussion loop, which I think, yeah, it's just I just took a small portion of it, and I make sure to take this like swing groove from the groove pool here, and I drag it down onto the loop, so the loop also has the same swing as the rest of the track. And then what I also like to do is I like to introduce the elements actually a bit before a new bar starts. So as you can see, I'm actually introducing them here when I am cutting the lows with the filter. So that's where I'm introducing them, which makes it sound quite nice. What else? We got some this shit going on. Maybe this. Okay, so yeah, actually everything sounds super loud because I have a bit of mastering on it. So let me just take that off. Sidechained. What else? What is this? This is some percussion. Just put a lot of random things on it here. Modulating the dry wet on the reverb. I feel like is really, really fun. And a lot of like interesting atmosphere that suddenly comes and then it's away, right? Down in the bottom here, I have this section group just called Candy. And it's just for like all of these like weird sounds. Like Kashmir sample pack has a lot of animal sounds. You can also just search it on Splice or just like weird like Vengeance Essentials house and go into like the percussion folder and just find like weird sounds. You want a lot of highs in these, I feel like, because that's kind of ear candies really makes the listener engaged. You can see just random effects. But be careful with this because I feel like I do this a lot of the times in my tracks and it end up becoming like way too much and it's like all over the place. Then comes my favorite part of the track. This was also the short clip that I posted on TikTok. So yeah, what happens here is that we have a drum rack coming in, playing this note. And EQ'd it a bit, and that's it. It really drives it forward. And we got the call response from that like vocal thing. Oh yeah, and then of course I'm introducing a very tightly closed hat here. And I'm just boosting the highs like that, because hear it out? Nah, we want that like, you know? And then later on I'm introducing a more like, this is also just a 909 with a bit of like EQing, a bit more in the mids here, because we still have the really tightly closed hi-hat taking like all of the like really high highs. Like the drums really start to like sound really good together and play really nicely, because as I talked about earlier with the hi-hats I used like as percussion element. It really like drives it. It sounds like, you know, like someone is playing the hi-hat and they're like, you know, on the pedal, they're opening and closing it at the same time, right? I think you get what I mean, right? I think that's basically it. I have this. Also just really hypnotic. There's some LFO going on. Oh my god, this is 20 minutes long. How the fuck do I cut this down to a TikTok length video? Mamma mia. All right. Oh, the last secret. Letzte secret. You always need to drink a Radler when you mix, so you feel like you're in the Späti. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on my video. I am so grateful for it. It means so much to me. Später auf Keta.